The 911 communication systems continue to be an issue in Northumberland County. What are the next steps in order to solve whatever problems still remain?
Couple of things. We need to finish the federally mandated project, which is the narrow band throughout the county, and that will be completed when we finish 2 more towers, which are slated to be done in the next 3 to 6 months. Hang the equipment on that, and that will increase the connectivity and operability between fire and police, and the signal strength throughout our county. So that's one thing that we need to complete, and that is already paid for. We just need to complete the work. And we need to entertain options with the radios that we have now that are aging, or they're not appropriate match for the type of narrow branding we have, or the type of radio systems that surrounding counties have that help us with mutual aid, say on a fire call. And we intend to do that by looking at options to do a flash update on the radios, which just means like programming your iPhone. We're going to do an upgrade to those versus the cost of new radios. I believe that the most immediate action that we will take is to do the flash upgrade, and we're negotiating costs right now to do that. And then finally, we need to take a look at how we can support our police departments. They have a different type of radio that makes it difficult for them to receive the strength of the signal and operability between themselves and between our firefighters who have a different type of radio. So we need to see if there's upgrades that we can help the police departments with, or if they need to convert to the same type of radio that we have. So the public safety issue that is not only the towers and the signals and the radios for fire and police, it's very important to understand that 911 itself, our dispatchers, we need to take a look at how they are compensated and how they're trained. And we need to take a look at how that department is administrated, both internally, and we need to start seeking partners externally. And what I mean by that is it is fundamentally critical that in the next 4 years we reach out to surrounding counties that provide us mutual aid and respond and help respond to our 911 calls. And it will do the following things. It will allow us to decrease costs by maybe combining with another county, either on the southern end or the northern end or both. It will help us decrease costs by towers, upgrades, equipment, training, and personnel. And so it's vitally important that we do what all of the counties have done, and that's to seek to become regionalized.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. So the county has spent more than $250,000 in overtime at the prison since it opened in October. How will you work with the warden and the prison board members to solve this?
This is something, I sit on a committee. It's a committee that specifically meets once a month before prison board, an hour before prison board. And there's quite a few people, there's over 10 people on that committee that meet discussing the overtime issue. We also did hire a consultant, and a 3-page report issued ways that we can go about beginning to address that. And I really feel that at this point, all we need to do is implement the ideas that were given to us by professionals in this field. That is, we need to come up to competitive salaries with surrounding counties and just pay them more. We need to pay them about $25 an hour. We need to take a look at how we would pay for that increase. Do we need to lower the number of full-time employees we have and increase the number of part-time employees we have? How will we utilize part-time employees to pick up the overtime hours is something that we discuss. And how will we utilize part-time employees to take shifts so that we can train the incoming staff that we're getting. So these are the issues that we discuss, but basically it comes down to we need to increase the wage so that we can hire more people. Whether they're full or whether they're part-time, we need to bring up the number, because if we bring up the number, we can cover the shifts in a 24-hour cycle so that we're not mandating part-time employees or full-time employees on a constant basis, which will bring down some of our overtime.
Okay. With the hotel study happening and the AOAA continuing to attract tourism, where do you see the county headed in terms of economic development over the next 4 years, and how will you help to accomplish those goals?
A lot of exciting things that are coming to Northumberland County. We have the bypass coming in, and companies are aware of the bypass coming in or being nearly completed, and they're starting to look at Northumberland County as a great place to do business. We have pop-up groups like SRI in Sunbury, Sabre in Shamokin, that are starting to revitalize small businesses in our smaller cities. And when you combine that with the efforts of the AOAA, which brings a steady stream of population from outside the state even into our local communities, you can begin to see how restaurants and bars and shopping places can, maintain a budget and hire people and stay open. What was the second question? The $250,000 the study for the hotel.
Yeah.
So all of these things that I just mentioned, Knoebels, the AOAA, increased small business, pop-up business development boards such as SRI and Sabre and Time in Milton. All of these things will contribute to generating business that will help the feasibility study for the hotel, because what that's going to be looking at, the driving factor is, do you have enough people coming into your area to sustain a hotel? That's what they want to know. So we're trying to do these things at the same time, and I think that in the next 4 years, I think we're going to have some positive results.
What are the capital projects you hope to accomplish over the next 4 years?
Actually, capital projects, speaking ground up, bricks and mortar, none. We have enough buildings that we need to maintain and take care of, and what I'm going to be looking for is, how do we budget to maintain the buildings we have, look at the number of buildings we have, and try to sell off the ones that we do not need to maintain, and looking to restructure how and where we do business, whether it's human services, whether it's public safety. We need to think about how we can start living within our means again, because we have far exceeded what we take in for our budget in tax dollars. And the cost of maintenance is driving the budget into the red. So what I would like to do is take a look, assess all of the ones that we have, see if we can combine spaces in the ones that we do have, such as departments. An example is if the administration building that we have over on Stadium Drive, there is so much empty space in that building. You could easily combine more offices into that building and then perhaps get rid of other buildings. We have a court annex that we do not use. We have numerous human services buildings that could be combined if human services were restructured. We took on 12 more buildings at the prison location. We have magisterial district judges buildings. We have the Celotex property. We have lots and lots of properties. We have the Shamokin High School Career Center out there. We have numerous buildings that we have to pay for, and we have to start looking at how we can scale back and combine services within the ones we have and sell off the ones we don't need.
What kind of opportunities exist for regionalization and cooperation with neighboring counties, and will you pursue any of those?
Absolutely. I've named some of them, but just to review, and it's not something I'm inventing, it's something that other counties have done in the last 4 to 8 years that we need to do, because we cannot sustain all of the things we're trying to maintain with less money coming from the state and less tax dollars coming in. So some of the opportunities that I see are public safety. I'm already speaking to commissioners from Schuylkill County, and some commissioners from Montour County are next on my list to speak to, as well as Union County. I'd like to see how we can cooperate to discuss things that are mutual needs and concerns, budgetary concerns for both of our counties, and the top two are public safety and the prison. Montour is a good example of a county that has an aging prison, and they have a contract with another county because their population can't be handled within their own older prison. So I would be looking to them because they are a neighbor. Schuylkill County also neighbors us in the south, And I also know that they also have most of their prisoners in outside counties. So we would be looking for something maybe exclusive contracting. Maybe we would look to collaborate to create a board, which we both pool our money and we maintain it as a joint effort. But public safety and prison are the two top that I would think that we can start to look at, as well as when you look at surrounding communities and counties, they pull together, like the CMSU is a good example. That is a collaborative effort of Columbia, Montour, Snyder, and Union to be able to efficiently and effectively give their constituents the human services that we need and we're mandated to provide. I would be looking as to whether there would be any advantages to Northumberland County maybe joining that group.